In this video, I demonstrate the cone drawing procedure in charcoal. It's actually very similar to the cylinder drawing. Ellipse is the key for the successful cone and cylinder drawing. First, the preliminary drawing. Use the willow charcoal and draw the shape lightly. Preliminary drawing is mostly done in vine or willow charcoal. As usual, it is suggested to use the charcoal pencil to refine the contour of the object. Once the outline is done, let's go ahead and start toning the work. Background is a good place to start. Use the side surface of the willow charcoal and fill in the background briefly. You can then blend the tone using the fingers. Blending in circular motion will usually get rid of the graininess created by willow charcoal. Once the background is all filled in, it's the time to fill in the foam shadow. In the previous video, I spoke about the 5 basic values for expressing the round forms. Before breaking down the tones into 5 values, let's focus on just 2 value contrast between light and shadow. This step, in fact, is extremely important because what's within the light area is subtle and what's within the shadow area also is subtle. What's obvious is the contrast between light and shadow. After the two-tone block-in, let's soften the mid-tone area where the light and shadow transition is happening. 5-value blockage should then be applied once you establish the good light and shadow contrast. I will later explain about the 5-value rendering once again at the end of the video. Looks like the basic contrast between light and shadow is done properly here. Cast shadow also is filled in, so the sense of light is now evident. Use the charcoal pencil to achieve nice clean shapes and tones. It's now the time to start applying the 5 values. Try making the core shadow just a bit darker. Core shadow usually is just slightly darker than the reflected light. The core shadow of the cone usually is darker at the top. Let's gradually darken it towards the top. Let's be sure to soften the tones with the fingers so there is no subtle jump in values. Softer the rendering is, rounder it appears. At the bottom edge of the cone, we see a nice elliptical curve. Ellipse we see on a round form usually is the first hurdle for a beginner artist. Its opening pitch changes depending on the eye level, so check the width against the depth and see how squished it really is. If your eye level is high against the object in front of you, the cone ellipse should appear round and becomes closer to the perfect circle. If your eye level is low, the bottom ellipse of the cone should look squished. Proportion of an ellipse determines the relationship between your eye level and the height of the object, so let's observe carefully. Looks like I'm almost done here. Let's check everything and see what is needed to make the drawing beautiful. Thanks for watching and I see you again soon.